Hello and welcome to Altitude. Today I'll be showing you the guide. It should be sub 50 with a bit of practice. If you can get each hole right first time, obviously. You can potentially get below 45 and maybe even lower if lucky. Now, it's about 2:30 in the morning now. I'm quite tired, but I'm trying to get these guides out for you as soon as possible. So first shot, you're going to go full power straight. It's quite hard to get it straight, to be honest. But just release when you've got a chance. And if you do get it straight, you may go in. You don't always go in. Sometimes you go in. About 99% of the time you actually miss this, so I wouldn't really bother trying to line it up straight too much. Just make sure you get it through, because from here I can sort of go center of the black sort of circle, and I'll go in. And that's like the furthest you saw there. That's the furthest you ever go back. Hole 2 is possible in 1, but very unlikely. I'm going to be showing you consistent 2. What you're going to do is line up the center of, the left hand side of this tree with the center of your screen. We're going to be going blue meets green. And then what I would do is just aim slightly left, like so. And the aim is not to hit this right wall, but even if you do, it's not the end of the world, as the magic E putter sort of comes into play. Now I've ended up in a bit of a crap spot. Normally if you don't hit the wall you end up around here, but obviously I just got a bit unlucky. But if you do hit the wall, you actually end up in a similar spot to me. You actually probably end up a bit further back. But anyway, from here I'm even going to show you how to get a hole in 2 consistently. You're basically aiming as far right as possible, but without hitting this. So even like there where it's going to be going right inside of the E power of hole, and I'm in. I've been speaking way too much now, and my voice is starting to go. So maybe I'll get a bit groggy towards the end. This one's a bit lucky, to be honest. The first shot is always a bit lucky. You can actually end up on the left hand side when you go round, but 1 in a million. Well, maybe not 1 in a million, because I've done it once. But yeah, if you get lucky and you hit this fan and it takes you around first time like that, then great, you're in a perfect chance to get a potential 2 or a consistent 3. If you end up on the other side, it's not the end of the world. What I recommend is you just gently hit it sort of into this sort of side, and the fan should take you around and put you in a similar spot to where I am now. Now obviously with me now, I can go for the sort of hole in 2, and I am going to show you. But if you want to be safe, what you could do is just sort of hit it into here, especially if you end up a bit more central, just hit it into the side and it should take you around. And if you got through here once, then you could be looking at a 3, but obviously if you don't get through the first fan, then you'll be looking at a 4, but that's still not the end of the world. Anyway, from here you're going to be sort of going left hand side of the 4, and you're going to aim actually slightly right. You're sort of going to aim at the right hand side of the triangle, so like so, and then release when you're 3. Because what you're going to do is you're going to try and bounce off the back wall and then in. Nice, easy too. Don't go straight at the hole, because the amount of power needed to actually make sure you don't get hit, you'll bounce out of the hole. Go for bouncing off the back. Hole 4, I'm going to tell you the basic strategy behind it, because it is quite inconsistent, but you may not get it in. And I may not get it in. Basically what you're going to be doing is sort of the left hand side of the E, and you're basically aiming at the center of the triangle here. But obviously if you aim too far right, then you'll sort of hit this side. If you aim too far left, you'll sort of go on the other side. But in the end, it's better to go too far left, because then you've got still a potential 2-putt. In fact, a likely 2-putt. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to aim sort of slightly right off the sort of shadow bit up here. Still not going. I've been having troubles with this because, but whatever. But nonetheless, I'm going to show you a nice, easy two-put. Well, what would be a two-put? If you just go full power as close to the left-hand side as possible. I mean, because obviously I wasn't at the start, you wouldn't end up here. You would actually end up down there. But then you could just go full power as close to this corner as possible and get it in two. Because no matter where you are, when you go down this hill, unless you glitch, obviously, you will get it in. Sorry, my voice is just starting to go. Just gonna have a quick drink. Sorry about that. But yeah, hole 5 is possible in 1, I think, eventually, but consistently in 2. What you're going to be doing is sort of aiming at the left-hand side of this first sort of cabin, I guess. Sort of center that. Aim at the right-hand side. Wait, just want to make sure I get this right. Left-hand side of the R of par. Release when it goes up. Now at the vertical point, and you shouldn't hit it, and you'll end up hitting that, and ideally end up with a situation where you can get it in. If you aim further right, it can be a bit more consistent, but obviously if you aim further left, you can bounce off that wall and have an easier putt. But from here, what I'm going to be showing you is if you sort of go half black circle power straight, my aim was a bit off there, but you'll curve around, you'll hit the back wall, and you'll still get it in too. It is actually quite consistent. Another consistent sort of 2, similar to hole 2 itself, but just takes a bit of getting used to. The hole 6, it's quite a funny one because I think it is possible in 1, or at least easily in 2, and it is easily in 2. But if you go as close to the left hand side as possible, it is possible to get over to the far side in 1. But I have fallen through the fan a couple of times recently, which is weird. So what I recommend is you go full power pretty close, but just a bit more right, so that the sort of arrowhead doesn't touch the wall, like so. Full power should still get you down the hill, but you should clip the edge there. Now, if you've got enough power, you'll go around and actually get over here in 1. If not, you might hit the front bit there, or you might even end up on this middle platform. If you end up on the far one, what you can do is you can go. Let me just get the reading. If you go to the right hand side of the R power of par and aim slightly right off the flag, you'll sort of come round, bounce the back wall and go in. If you come straight at the hole, you won't go in, trust me. But anyway, obviously I've got extremely lucky. I've basically got the best shot pretty much possible, and so I can get a nice albatross and get that fantastic blue on the screen, which you rarely see. But good luck with that one. Again, gonna need a bit of practice. Obviously, I got the ideal situation, but you're not always gonna get that, and a lot of the time you'll sort of clip the first edge. Hole 7, what you're gonna do is go left hand side of the P off par. Make sure you don't hit that edge there, and you should end up around here, or sort of even over here if you go a bit different. As long as you're not like in line with these, if you go straight, left hand side of the P, left hand side of the O straight, you should end up in this bit. You're gonna go left hand side of the O again straight. We're going to go for a nice easy 4. Obviously you can potentially get this in 3, but I'm just showing you a nice easy guide as of now. From here you're going to go the right hand side of the black circle, at the flag. You can obviously go a bit less, but if you do go right hand side, even if you bounce on the back wall, you're not going to come out of the sort of dip itself. The hole 8, it's quite weird because you would think going full power straight and then going full power at the same spot would put you in the same spot every time, but obviously with this game it doesn't. You're just going to go full power first shot straight as the blinks stop to separate, and no matter where you are on this bit, you'll always end up on the left side. You're just going to go full power at the sort of shadow here. If you're further back, it might be a bit more of a blur, but still aim there and you should be fine. Now you sometimes end up further back, and in that case what you want to do is sort of the left hand side of the E power. The further for you want to go, the more less power you go, with minimum sort of left hand side of the K, which is what we'll be doing today. If I really wanted to, I could go even a bit more, but you're basically aiming so that you sort of curve round, hit the top and sort of hit the edge. If I used E power there, I would sort of go straight back round and sort of down the hill again, and then it actually puts you in a much worse position, and so you'll probably need a couple shots to get out of. The hole 9 is very inconsistent. Basically full power straight, but obviously trying to find straight is really weird. As you sort of just seem to roll to the left. But now what you're going to do is you're going to go full power straight, and you're basically waiting for this to go sort of just right past the sort of 9 up here. If you're on the other side, you're basically waiting for it to do the opposite of what I say. It's not always consistent. As you see, I went a bit too early there, but if I had got it, I would have actually hit the first. If I had timed it right, I would have hit the first log and sort of bounced back down. But obviously, I didn't listen to my own instructions, as I sometimes do in these videos. And yeah, you would have bounced back down. It is possible too, but honestly, I've never got it. From here, you're just going to go with E put for a nice easy free, consistent free. Even if you do miss all the blocks, you can just put around the blocks, or even if you want to take the chance, you can try and go through all the blocks and get it in. But I would recommend just go round and sort of just take the 4, to be honest. So this one, as you can see out here, this is, just put your mouse on there, that's basically where you're aiming. Full power, and you're just making sure that you don't hit the fans, and this block here is actually in line with a block further down here. So basically what you got to do is you got to release as soon as that block passes you, but obviously you got to make sure you don't hit the fan. So like there, I would probably hit the fan. Nice. So that block there. I don't listen to my instructions sometimes, but the funny thing is, even if I did that, you don't always actually go in. If you don't listen to your own instructions like I do, sort of an R power, and you could potentially go in anyway. But as you can see, there is a slight dip, but even going full power straight doesn't always put you, but it will put you close for a 2 put. My brain just doesn't work sometimes. I'm not. Okay, now hole 11 casing glitches, but the basic idea is you're going to turn to your left and sort of center this fan here. So you can see there's quite a clear, well, clearest fan here. You'll be aiming at the one to the right of it, full power. And as long as you don't glitch, like as long as you don't lose all friction, you should come around here, and like 9 times out of 10 you'll miss that. Even if you do, you'll sort of even end up with a chance to get it in. If not, then what you can do is just try and sort of guesstimate by hitting this into here, or most likely just getting the free. But anyway, this one I do think is possible in one, obviously, as you can see how close I ended. A bit of tweaks and you've got a chance. I would probably go a bit like a pixel left, maybe. I don't know. But anyway, obviously, as you see, I got in 2. Hole 12 is quite funny because I swear it's harder to get this in 3 than it is in 2. You're going to go full power to the center of here, release whenever, because even if you hit the fan there, it will take you around and put you in the similar spot anyway. It is possible in 1, but very, very unlikely. You'll just have to tweak the first shot though if you want to get it in 1. But again, with the out of sync fans, it's very unlikely, and also the power. You would probably have to bounce off, hit the back wall, and then go in. Now, one of the most annoying things about this game is sort of that shadow just disappeared. Not that, but is sort of things like this hole. So this one you're going to go full power right, aiming at that shadow there, and there you go. You just go straight up, which is stupid. That wouldn't happen. Because it sort of takes away the 1, because the 1 could be possibility by hitting off the left side, so coming out here and then sort of bouncing off there and in. But nonetheless, from here, what you're going to do is you're going to sort of use this rock and then just go slightly left. And then you're going to use the R up R and then just release in time. Now you want to go slightly left of the rock just because this gives you a chance to get it in. Even if you do miss, you've got the easiest 3. But as you can see, from there I can get it into. And it's about 50% of the time doing that, I will go in. Because sometimes my aim's just wrong, or my first shot is a bit off. Anyway, hole 14, what you're going to do is you're going to turn to right and you're going to use this shadow. Now I'm not sure if it appears in low gravity, but even if it doesn't, what you can do is sort of line up with this, or even just sort of go slightly left of this corner here. And then you're going to go mid to right T, with the right hand side of your sort of square on the darker bit of the shadow. Now that should put you in this situation, and it's not the end of the world. Ideally, you would want to end up here, because if you end up here, you can go full power at this sort of here, and you can actually get round to the flag itself for a potential 2. But as of yet, I haven't actually found a consistent way of getting there. But I assume you can just hit straight here, which I probably should have thought about. But I think I did try that, but trying to get the right power was just a bit too hard. Anyway, from here, what you're going to do is just full power, making sure your ball won't hit here. Full power, like so, and then you'll sort of end up around here. Now, this next shot may not get you in, but it should get you pretty close. You're basically aiming sort of, I want to say sort of midway between there and sort of here, sort of like there. Even maybe a bit further right, depending on your spot. I'm going to probably, in this situation, because you don't always land in the same spot, I'm probably going to aim on the right hand side of the tree. But the power should always pretty much be the same. And it's the left hand side of T. Oh, that was the right hand side of T. But yeah, the left hand side of T should work as well. As you can see, I got lucky and got it in 3. But even if you miss, you've got the simplest T-put, E-put. Basically, what you want to make sure is that you don't go too powerful, so you go around the edge. Now, hole 15, I actually struggle with. I'm not gonna lie, and I'm probably gonna mess up this recording because of this. But basically, what you want to do is aim to as close to the left hand side as possible, and then sort of go left hand side of the R. And that should put you in a position here. Now, the reason why I sort of normally mess this up is because I try and go for the sort of the clutch shot where you sort of bounce off the wall and go down. But that's not recommended, because if you do that, you can unless you don't, if you hit the center piece here, then perfect, you'll sort of go down in the center. But if you don't, you'll sort of go down the other side. So what I would probably recommend is sort of just where the blue meets the green, sort of aiming at sort of just left hand side of this sort of piece here, because the general aim should just be to sort of maybe hit that, but even if you don't, sort of just end up around here or around here, where you've got a chance to get it in and free. From here, I just use probably the right hand side of the R at the flag itself. Obviously a bit right. I'm making this up on the spot, but bit right so you don't hit it, or even a bit more power so you could potentially bounce off the back wall. I think if you do go a bit more power, you have to bounce off the back wall to get it in. But anyway, from here, obviously you've got a nice easy sort of E put to get it in 4. And the reason why I recommend you take the safe option, because even if you do get it right, you'll get it in 3. What's one shot? Trust me, if you're using this and the people you're playing against aren't using them, they're not going to get better score than you. Anyway, hole 16, what you're going to do, 4 power. So just as long as you make sure you don't hit that, you should be fine. And as long as you don't bounce out the other side, which I have done once or twice. Anyway, this second shot is pretty easy. What you're going to do is the right hand side of the black circle, and ideally you want to sort of hit off the circle, hit off the edge here before going down, and then miss the edge and potentially get it in. But honestly, I've got it down as a consistent 3. I've actually not got it in there yet in 2. That's normally, it's probably normally because the amount of times I've actually got this far when I've been playing is not a lot, because I normally stress out at like missing hole 12 or something like that. Hole 17, pretty consistent, but also pretty not. I've got around here a few times and then unfortunately missed. What you're going to do is aim as close to the right hand side as possible, so of the left hand side of the O power, but this is no guarantee, because even if you get through like so, you don't always go in, I'm not going to lie, but the vast majority of the time you do go in, and you've got a nice easy hole in 1. You know what, 42, I told you this game was consistent. But the reason why it's not a 45 is because you're about to see hole 18 is going to be a 4. This is funny. Ready? Just look. Just tap, and suddenly there's a speed boost. Literally, no matter where you go, as long as you go out that first square, you're gonna go the same place. I love that. The back of the thing says turn around. But yeah, you'll end up in the same space pretty much every time, I believe. Now from here, you're just going to go full power to the center, between there and sort of here. So what's going to happen is you're going to end up in front of sort of this triangle here. Now, if you go left, if you aim, you're meant to go straight, but if you aim left, there's a chance you could go out. So what I recommend is, although you're aiming straight, just go a tiny bit right. And then what you're going to do is the right hand side of the E, like so. And obviously, as you can see, potentially to go in, but more than likely you're going to miss. And then from here, you've also got a nice E put to actually get it in 4. So as you can see, I got 46, which is kind of funny considering I had 48 consistent rain down. So obviously, I got a bit lucky in a few holes. But with a bit of practice, you can get below 50 consistently. I never know, maybe get below 45 consistent. Let me know how you do. Hope you'll enjoy this guide. I will see you later. And it's returning me to main menu where it takes forever. Thank you very much for watching. Hope you are ready for Sweet Tooth, where I can end and get out of this terrible game. See you later. It's not that bad, to be honest.